Hi everyone, today's video is going to be on meal prep. I want to show everyone that whether you're a fitness competitor or you're hoping to just live a healthy lifestyle, that meal prepping is super important. I believe that it's a lot easier if you keep things simple, so I'm going to show you exactly what I do and I hope you enjoy it. So typically I do my grocery shopping on Sundays. I buy all the groceries that I will need for the entire week. I prep my foods on Sundays and on Wednesdays. Let's see, so for today we're going to be using two different meats. We're going to be using 99% fat-free ground turkey. We're going to be using a Hamburg. We're also going to be using a salmon and a haddock. As our veggie, we're going to be using broccoli today. I switch it up every week. We do asparagus, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, whatever you prefer. For a carb, we're going to be using jasmine rice today. You could also do sweet potatoes, you could do brown rice, whatever you like as well. We are going to be throwing the jasmine rice into the rice cooker. We're going to be throwing the meats onto a skillet, which is going to go on top of the stove. We're also going to be having haddock and we're going to be having salmon. So we're going to throw the aluminum foil on top of these pans. We're going to take some ham spray or cooking spray, spray it on the pans, put it on the pan and throw it in the oven. We're also going to be taking the broccoli, throwing it into the container and putting it into the microwave. We also have my baby, the scale. I measure all my foods after it's cooked on the scale. We have our containers. I have my isobag containers, my 6-pack containers. In terms of seasonings and what you can use or don't use, I'm not a big seasoning fan. I like it as simple as possible. I'm not the best cook. Today I'm going to be using garlic powder. I put the garlic powder onto my fish. And then lastly, liquid aminos. This is by far my favorite thing. I put this on almost all of my meats. I try to be limited because there is sodium in it, but you can use this to cook before or after. So let's go into the kitchen. So I just put the jasmine rice into the rice cooker. This should take about 35-45 minutes. I'm just going to be seasoning my meat that I just put on the skillet. This is the ground turkey. I'll just keep an eye on this and kind of mix it around. Now while this cooks, I'm going to be coming over here. I'm going to be spraying the pans and laying out the fish. Alright, so we're going to throw the salmon into the oven. I cook my salmon and I cook my haddock at the same time. A lot of people think it's silly, a lot of people do different things, but I like to cook everything at the same time. So I obviously just watched this. This will cook before the salmon will. So I'm going to throw this in the bottom, that in the top. The salmon will take about, let's say, 25 minutes. The haddock will probably take about 15-20 minutes, but I'll take a fork, I'll show you, kind of see if it's cooked or not. Next, I'm going to be throwing the broccoli into the microwave. So this just requires a half a cup of water, and then I'm just going to throw in about 2/3 of the bag. We'll pop it into the microwave for probably, like 7, 8, 9 minutes, kind of depending on the consistency that you like of it. And I like to pop it in early, more or less because this way, by the time this is cooked and it has cooled off, I can start my prepping and putting it into the containers while this stuff starts to cool. So the Hamburg is just finishing up on top of the stove. I threw that on after the ground turkey was done. So we're just going to check this. I checked the salmon a minute ago. The salmon is pretty cooked. As you can see, if you take a fork to it, it's pretty well. This is on the bottom, so I believe this is pretty cooked as well. If it kind of flakes off, if you see it's all flaky, then you know it's completely done. So I'm going to put this on here. These are done. Turn off the stove. Now we're just waiting on this, and if you can see, there's about 8 minutes left, and the rice is done, and it looks phenomenal. So I'm going to open this and leave it open for a minute so that it can cool off before I bring it over to the table to start the organization. So the last step of meal prep is to measure and organize your meals. So I'm going to take this 6-pack container. I'm going to put it onto my scale, turn it on, and then I'm going to measure, for me, I'm only using 3.5 ounces of salmon, so I'm going to put this on here, just about perfect. I'm going to take a cup of a green, so for example broccoli, I can take this off the scale, and I'm going to take 1/4 cup of jasmine rice. So this is an example of one of my good fat meals, so I'll have this a few times a week. This is actually my favorite meal, so I'll put this on here, and I will just continue to go through. For me, I have about 4 ounces of haddock. I have about 4 ounces of a beef. With ground turkey, you could have a little bit more, but I do about 4 ounces. And all of these meals, or most of these meals, will have either a carb and absolutely a vegetable. So I hope you enjoy my meal prep, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks.